if there's 11, 12 million Mexicans and there's 11, 12 million documented immigrants, they gotta be it.
Well,
Eh,
remember, it's like everything that is south
It's all
it's
Mexico.
US
Mexico.
is
It's all
Mexico.
Mexico. Today we've got a special guest. We're talking with Raul Lomeli-Azoubel. He is a co-founder and chief community officer of Welcome Tech. It's a platform that empowers immigrant households. He's formerly the VP of diverse growth segments at Wells Fargo. He's led initiatives like Latino Education, Achievement Project, and worked with Mexican Consulate in LA. Raul has authored a financial aid book with over 50 articles and 18 booklets on financial services, healthcare, and education, with over 9 million copies distributed. Welcome, Raul. We're glad to have you on the pod, and we're interested to hear about your platform, your story, how you got into tech, different areas. Welcome.
Muchas gracias, muchas gracias.
I do have a question, Raul.
Sí.
Your last name. I get the Raul Lomeli, but tell me the other fraction of your name.
Yes, the Azoubel. This is why sometimes my buddies from elementary school to high school can't find me because they don't know me with the Azoubel. Actually, when I got married to my wife, she was already a successful attorney, and I said, like, this is so backwards. Why should I make you change your last name? So instead, the Azoubel was important, so I added it to my last name. And she's still Noemi Sofia Azoubel only. So that's where the Azoubel comes from. She's from Uruguay.
Uruguay. I did have something with my wife. My wife is from America. And my friends is like, Mando, why you don't change it to her? It's like, yeah, it doesn't sound bad, right? Because my full name is Eric Armando Gomez. So, and then hence Mando. And basically, my wife, her last name is McNeil. So they were saying you can say Mando McNeil.
It does have a nice ring to it. Yes.
So you know what? It's like you see me and I look like a Gomez.
It's like, yeah.
So
McNeil is
like,
Irish, no?
It's an Irish, Scottish.
Well, the Irish are the Chicanos from Europe.
Oh, there you go.
True.
You know that?
I guess.
It's true story. Look, they are next to a superpower, right? Which is England. They're Catholic. They're big families. They're all about, working the fields, hardworking community. And during the Mexican-American War of 1846, they were so frustrated by being a segregated artillery of the U.S. Army that they actually shifted sides and fought for the Mexican side. And that's why we have El Batallón de los Patricios. And they actually settled in northern Mexico. So there you go. McNeil could be just as important as Gomez.
Yeah, we're building a case here for you, Mando.
It's never too late, right? Cool. All right, let's jump in. When we were trying to understand, tell us a little bit of your platform, right?
Yes.
How you came to this idea, and I think that you have a partner,
Yes.
Amir. Tell us a little bit the story on how you met Amir and how you guys
Of course.
Start building this platform.
Look, if there's something that I can share with young entrepreneurs is that the moment that you stop innovating is the moment that your company starts dying. So we started 20 plus years ago with the idea to literally just educate community on a basic topic. At the time was how to open a bank account, because it was for the first time that the matrícula consular, which is an identification issued by the Mexican consulates in the US, could be used as a primary form of identification. So that's where the idea started. I was the press attaché, the spokesperson for the Mexican consulate in LA, and we made the announcement. And to be very honest with you, Mando, we didn't expect much from it. And the next day, oh my gosh, tens of thousands of people going throughout the country to the Mexican consulate to get their matricula to open an account. Why? Because our community wanted to have one. They just couldn't access. So that's how it started. We started just printing a very basic guide on how to open a bank account. We got the banks to sponsor it. We distributed it for free. And from there, 20 years later, we're still at it.
Nice. So, and then in what moment did you meet Amir?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's That's a very good question because when I decided to leave the Mexican consulate to actually engage in what is now Saberes Poder and Welcome Tech, it started as a nonprofit. And we met this, he's a few years younger than me, but just incredible business person, also son of immigrants. And he came and joined the group to help us raise funds for this initiative. It was so successful that the IRS actually said, hey, you're a nonprofit. You cannot be promoting opening bank accounts. I said, but why not? We're not getting any benefit out of it. They said, no, we're not telling you to stop. We're telling you that you need to take it out of the nonprofit. So the board allowed us to have a spin-off, and that's when Saber es Poder was created. So the first entity that my business partner and I created was Saber es Poder LLC, which was to educate the Mexican community, specifically through the then 46 Mexican consulates back in 2003, 2004, which then evolved to raising our first round of capital in 2010. And well, I'm sure we'll talk more about it, but that's how it started, and we've been business partners ever since. I say that I'm a man of commitments. I've been married to my wife for 25 years, and my business partners for 22. So there you go.
For the audience, saber es poder. Some people might not know Spanish. It means
Yes.
Knowledge is power, which it resonates a lot with me. I feel that sometimes when you don't have the education, sometimes people take advantage on you, right? So, and I think that in this case, it's kind of cool that you guys name it that way, knowing that immigrants, they need that help.
Definitely. It's also one of the big reasons why we started the pod, is because we want to build a platform also, or a community where we share information, we share ideas. So we're all about that. Saber es Poder is very important to our community. So we really dig that name. It's really good.
Thank you. I wish it was easier to pronounce in English, which is not, and that was what led us to create a holding company, and the holding company is Welcome Tech. That way our investors and our non-Spanish speaking audience will be able to identify with it, because Saber es Poder evolved into many different variations of Saber es Poder to Sabor es Favor to you name it, everything under the sky.
Totally get that too. That's how we ended up on Tech-Mex podcast too, with our name. So it's like, that's easy to pronounce. Everyone gets it. Everyone knows it. Totally get that too.
Even though sometimes, Eric, you mispronounce.
I know. Hey, well, Tex-Mex. I don't know.
Let's dive into some of the services that you guys provide. Guide us through who is your kind of the people that you guys are helping, and who will want to know more about your platform.
Sure. Well, Mando, first let's talk about Latinos in the U.S. Right? There's give or take 65 million. And out of the 65 million, 20 million are foreign born. 20 million are immigrants. Those immigrants came at different stages in their lives. Out of these 20 millions, of course, the largest population is from Mexico. It's 12 million out of those 20 million. Out of those 12 million Mexican nationals, 3.3 million are permanent residents. 2.7 million have already naturalized. They're U.S. citizens. You have about 600,000 to 700,000 dreamers. And then your delta of that number, that's your undocumented population. And I say this just because so many times, because it happens to be that there's also between 11 and 12 million undocumented immigrants in the US, that they confuse that to be all Mexicans, right? They say, well, if there's 11, 12 million Mexicans and there's 11, 12 million undocumented immigrants, they gotta be it.
Well, remember, it's like everything that is south.
It's all Mexico.
It's Mexico.
It's Mexico.
Mexico.
Yes. So our core is not to get into the politics of it. It's all about education. We know that our user base, our consumer, our members, we want to make sure that they're better informed, confident, and active participants in U.S. society, but in practical topics, financial services, access to healthcare, telecommunication, how to navigate U.S. systems. Those are the main big topics, because our community, they want to do right by the government, right by the country where they live. And that's why they pay so much in taxes. Undocumented immigrants ends up paying more in taxes on a per capita basis than someone that is here naturalized, U.S. born, or on a visa. And that is a fact.
If you can explain a little bit more, that's an interesting thing that I have not heard before. Why you mentioned that? Yeah.
When someone is undocumented and they're part of the formal economy, they need to rely on a social security number that obviously is not theirs, which means that SSA, which was created in 1937, it collects that percentage of your income into a retirement fund. If the social security number and the number does not match, it goes to the special fund. If the social security number exists but is used by multiple people, it goes into a special fund. So guess what? Every year, about $20 billion of this tax dollars for retirement goes into this program. They'll never have access to it. They cannot validate that. So what is happening is that over the years, this undocumented population is actually subsidizing all those Americanos, expats living in Mexico, getting their Social Security check in Chapala or Mexico City. Another fact.
Yeah. I mean, there is even Guanajuato, right?
Yes, San Miguel de Allende.
Yep. So there's a lot of expats there.
Yes.
Okay. So then your company is providing or helping these immigrants to be able to have, and how they are doing it through a service, through a mobile app, or how are they doing it?
So we have a closed circuit television network, educational, that is installed since 2008 inside all of the Mexican consulates in the US. There are now 52 Mexican consulates, 11 in California, 10 in Texas, and so forth. So while they're there, they're able to begin to receive education on these topics that I just mentioned. While we're educating them, we populate a QR code and also through a little stripe at the bottom, how to opt in, which we have our short code is 72237, which is Saber, 72237. So when they send in that keyword, we capture their intention to be part of our platform. Since then, we've grown to over 4.3 million registered users. We actually exchange over 2 million SMS messages per week with them, back and forth. And why I say that? Because most of our community, at least the community that we serve, sure, they have a smartphone, sure, they have their social media, but they prefer to communicate one-on-one. And we do that via SMS. And of course, we use very rudimentary, but very basic, but very safe AI as well to make sure that we are able to identify what type of questions they're asking. So to your question, the top layer is free. They can ask any questions they like. We're going to respond within 24 hours. We're going to be able to start building trust and making sure that we understand what their needs are. If they wish, it's not a requirement, then they can actually enroll into a subscription health savings program. And that's where the monetization happens to allow us to try to create a sustainable model. Up until now, we're still not there. That's why we rely on venture capital from social enterprises to support a social startup to continue to grow. So that's how they go through that funnel. Free layer of education, and if they would like, then they can actually pay a monthly subscription that gives them access to unlimited telehealth, to unlimited visits to a whole array of library information on the different topics on health and health prevention.
So basically, your distribution has been through the consulates. Like the majority of the people they find about you guys is through the consulates.
It did start that way. And now, of course, our community, word of mouth, is incredible. So out of that 4.3 million, I would say about 1.3, 1.4 million came through the consulate directly. And the rest, it's been word of mouth from our current members.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We love to hear from you. Let us know what you thought about this episode. If you have any questions for Raul, drop them in the comments, and we'll get them answered. If you haven't watched our viral Bitcoin all-time high meme remix, go check it out on our channel. It's got lots of hits. I think that's all we've got for today. Dale.
Peace.